News Panorama is a TV news magazine program that gives you the story behind the story.
It tells the stories the way they should be told by capturing the larger scale.
It deals with people's deep feelings on issues that, when brought to the fore, ultimately educates, informs, and entertains.
News Panorama. Capture the larger scale.
As of March 11, 2026, the Dangote refinery reduced its petrol PMS gantry price to 1,007.5 naira per litre, down from 1,705 naira, following a slight drop in the international oil prices. Despite the reduction, pump prices in Nigeria remains high, with many filling stations selling between 1,005 naira and 1,350 naira per litre, depending on the location. But even with the slight reduction, what impact does it have on the life of a common man? Again, we'll be looking at public transport fines as the Cross River State Governor, Senator Bassey Dedotu, on March 9, 2026, slashed transport tickets and penalties in Calabar, following protests against high fees and extortion. Daily commercial bus tickets are now reduced to 500 naira from 850 naira, tricycle ticket to 500 naira from 1,200 naira, and all traffic fines are cut by 50%. Bringing governance closer to the people, unstable power supply, disinflation strategy, and the just concluded APC Congress. This and many more interesting reports are on our lineup this week. It is a must watch. Welcome and thanks for joining me on the program News Panorama. I am Josephine Efanga. If you have just tuned in, you're watching News Panorama.
News Panorama. Capture the larger scale.
Nigeria fuel market is once again in the spotlight following a new petrol price linked to the Dangote refinery. Reports indicate that the pump price of petrol has risen to about 1,200 naira per litre in some parts of the country, sparking widespread reaction among Nigerians already struggling with the rising cost of living. Kelechi John tells us more the report.
The refinery, owned by African richest man Aliko Dangote, has become a major supplier for petroleum products in Nigeria since it began operation. But this latest price adjustment has raised fresh concern about transportation, businesses, and what families will now have to spend. The increase has triggered mixed reaction from motorists and transport operators across the country. Many commuters say the new price will inevitably push away transport fare and its cost of goods and services. Some motorists complain bitterly that the high cost of fuel has hit drivers hard, explaining that 10,000 naira worth of fuel can no longer last them through a day's work.
It affects not only me, it affects all the drivers. Because all it can be all the drivers. The fuel we used to buy, maybe less than 10,000, we use it 15,000, now it's not like that again. So we need to buy more than what we used to buy. Also, the passengers are complaining, so we cannot make our return on supposed to. So because our passengers are complaining, and the passengers are also making cheaper rate.
Yes, you talk about the high price of the fuel. Both affecting me as a driver and the passengers. Like now, we normally drive 200 before, when it was 800, 8 something, 900. But now, though we are still driving for 200, but African mainly now is 300. And the passengers are complaining deeply. We charge them 300 because they're buying for 1,400, 1,500. Some places now is 1,300. So I think it's a both of us, drivers and the passengers.
Affect us in the sense that we cannot meet up our daily balance. Sometimes the passengers that we pick are complaining because of the charging, so let the price of the phone come down. It affects us a lot.
Our women, they are suffering to bring something from food stuff from the bush and come back for us in the town here. Even in the town here, we don't have anything apart from selling, buying, selling. But when women carry something come here, it's very close. When you ask them, they say the cost of fuel. Cost of fuel. Our children in the morning, some of them will trade far, very far with this high sun.
Others emphasizes that hardship is already widespread and its latest increase only makes things worse. They noted that commercial drivers have been forced to raise transport fare as a result.
I didn't see it coming. I felt we've gone past this thing where maybe small, maybe something can actually ignite something in Nigeria. But anyways, I don't even have a car now, so I didn't know that there was a lot of it. I came out to the worst of it as I was trying to enter. I was just getting communicating like Iran and prices are causing problem in Nigeria now. So I was like, how? So I'm thinking we're doing well because the best start is normal transportation. And even the transporters, like the bus drivers, they are not even big. And they will tell you like from Mobi to here, 200 naira now or 300. So it's affecting us bad.
I don't know the price of it, but I enter from 8 mile starting here today, 600 and more. Before it's 500 naira. They say it's fuel, the price of
well, there's hardship in the land. And this one, we are managing the price of fuel, but now it's not expensive. See, I was trekking and I'm still trekking because of lack of funds. When you enter vehicle, from here to 8 miles before, at least 400, 300, but now you hear 600, 500 there. So it's so unfortunate that we find ourselves in such a situation. And I remember the government in power now, while they were in opposition, they said they were going to do so many things, and up till now we're here to see some of those things. For example, we are the owners of our crude, but we'll take it outside the country to refine and we'll bring it back here. So when are we going to start refining our own crude?
People are subbing, taking now, from now, what to the max, 700. People are subbing, not taking, subbing. So this will come, one say, trying to marry.
Chief Dago Ikeja, a resident in Calabar, described the price as outrageous, especially for a country that produces its own crude oil. He urged that the government to declare a state of emergency in the fuel sector, pleading with the authorities to come to people's rescue.
Unfortunately, what is happening in the country today concerning the fuel hike overnight, to me, is a surprise. That a country, Nigeria, that produces petroleum in 5 countries every day should have this sharp increase in fuel prices. The price of fuel should not have been hiked up. I don't know what it is, but I believe it is artificial. Artificial in the sense that it is expected that NNPC is supposed to be supplying crude oil to Dangote, while Dangote refines it at the same low cost. I pray that the economic movers and shakers of this country, that is the people that manage our economy, should be up and doing to ensure that this kind of thing does not happen. I think that the president and commander-in-chief should be able to bring people on board to handle this situation as a matter of urgency. I pray that it declares a state of emergency on that sector of the economy, so that they will be able to marshal out procedures and take action to ensure that prices of fuel is brought down. Because fuel is a commodity that has a wide economic chain effect on all stratas of the economy. So if they do this, it will be able to save people. Situations were already bad, and this one is making it worse.
So from today, let the message back to Mr. President that we are suffering in the community, in the country we are suffering, so that we will reduce the price so that the transport can go back to the normal price.
As Nigeria reacts to this latest development, attention now turns to policymakers and industry stakeholders to find lasting solutions to the country's persistent fuel price challenging. For CRBC News Panorama, Kelechi John reporting.
Construction work on the new governance lodge in Ogojo local government area is making steady progress as part of the Cross River State government's efforts to bring in governance closer to the people of the Northern Senatorial District. When completed, the Ogojo Governors Lodge will make Cross River State the first in Nigeria to have 2 governors lodges within the state, helping to improve accessibility and government presence in Cross River North. Our correspondent Blessing Basi samples Cross Riverians' opinion as they express appreciation for the initiative. The report.
The Cross River State government is building a new governor's lodge in Ogoja local government area to improve governance in the Northern Senatorial District of the state. The project, which started in early 2025, is part of efforts to bring government closer to the people with several key facilities such as the governor's residence, banquet hall, boys' quarters, kitchen complex, and supervisory quarters. As the project continues, the Cross River State Deputy Governor Right Honorable Peter Ode recently paid an unannounced visit to the site to supervise the project to show the government's commitment to completing it on time. Speaking, the site supervisor Mr. Lazarus Esobeke noted that the project has provided jobs for many workers in the state. He explained that the project has also contributed to local economy empowerment by creating employment opportunities for workers across the state while praising the government for initiating the project.
We have some capacity of what we have the governor lodge, we have the banquet hall, we have the boys' quarter, we have the kitchen, we have the supervisor's lodge. All of them are going on. We still have the guest apartment. All of them are going on successfully. Okay. The workers are working very hard to deliver it successfully. The governor has done noble to the people of Cross Rivers North, especially Ogoja, where this project located. It has been an empowerment project for workers. All the laborers around us from Cross River here, they were working to earn their daily bread. So we say thank you, Governor, for doing a good job.
With the new governor's lodge, the Cross River State government aims to strengthen administrative presence in the northern part of the state. A resident in Calabar, Comrade Achibong Basekpenyong, maintained that the project of building a new governor's lodge is necessary, commending Governor Otu's late administration for infrastructure development.
Well, to me, I think there is nothing wrong because those structures were dilapidated at some point. They were going off. So if the governor deemed it fit to, renovate, just like what he has done in Calabar, in Abuja, Lagos, liaison office and others, I don't think Abuja should be left out. They were not looking good representing the state at all levels. So the governor should renovate the office or the lodge where he will live or he will stay whenever he visits the north. I think it's something remarkable.
Others believe the government should prioritize basic amenities like roads, healthcare, and markets that directly benefit the people. They said this should come first as they are paramount to the state development.
I think the people's choices should be the first priority. I don't think the construction of the government house in Abuja is necessary for now. Meanwhile, the construction of the road should be considered first.
I feel basic amenities are paramount. So the government would have focused on the social amenities that touches the lives of the people.
For CRBC News Panorama, Blessing Basi reporting.
The Cross River State chapter of the All Progressive Congress, APC, has elected new state working committee to pilot the affairs of the party in the state. The newly elected officials include Honorable Chris Sonny Etta as the state chairman, Bryce Ogana Lukpata as deputy state chairman, Pastor Patrick Asuko Okon as the state secretary, and Isaac James as the state assistant secretary, amongst others. Our correspondent Blessing Basi, who was there, completes the story. The report.
The All Progressive Congress APC, which took place at the UJSN Stadium, was largely peaceful and conducted through consensus. Party faithfuls from all the 18 local government areas of Cross River State were present, showing unity and solidarity. The Cross River State Governor, Senator Basiutu, expressed confidence in the future of the state. He said the world would soon see the progress, unity, peace, strength, knowledge, and wisdom of Cross River State. The governor assured party members and citizens of its continued support and commitment to the development of the state.
We have had a very good occasion here.
We came to consolidate and then move forward. The leading party executives, let me once more say thank you very much for your service. You have been wonderful, and I want to assure you, you'll never walk away. For the incoming, I want to congratulate you and say welcome and come to heaven. Managing human beings, managing party is not easy. So it's not going to be a tea party. But what I'm happy is the people here, the delegates have watched them very carefully to bring them out, to suit this particular time that they want to transit peacefully. If you could look at those who come out here, there are people that will not harass the delegates or harass the stakeholders, and will make sure that justice reigns supreme.
Some stakeholders shared their expectation, noting that the outcome of the Congress would play a key role in shaping the party's performance in the state. They stressed the need for strategies that would attract young people and first-time voters, while also promoting national unity and development.
As you can see, we have a consensus Congress where all the positions in Cross River State have been arrived at without any competition, without any contest. Positions have been zoned to various local government and all the local government stakeholders and leaders and party faithfuls in agreement with the positions that have been zoned to them, and the candidates that have been so nominated are all here for affirmation. So for me, it's congratulations to His Excellency, the leader of the party, because he's the driver of this movement.
For us, there is in the Constitution consensus arrangement or the direct primaries. What we are doing as a party in Cross River State, we are taking the aspect of consensus to ratify those who are going to lead us in the next election.
The leaders that will be chosen or that will be voted in, to lead us in Cross River State will be people with reputable character, people with the capacity, with the source that Cross River State needs.
To encourage the new ESCOs coming in to, follow the suit. It's not going to be, business as usual. Of course, the principal are working with Senator Principal Senator. It's a very humane person, and it's a square peg in the square hole. So you have such a principle, it will encourage you to work very hard.
Has demonstrated fairness, equity, and justice, which is what we're saying. The people have demanded, and the governor has given them what they have said. Like he said, it's not about what you want, it's about if your people really want it and if you can serve your people. And I'm learning so much from him and from his approach and his methods. And I know that Cross River State is just getting to become a better place.
And we are very positive that the new leadership, which we have come together as a consensus to agree upon, will do very well to mobilize the grassroots and indeed all Cross Riverians to vote for APC in the next election.
Many also recognize that especially my friend, my brother, and colleague who will be very
we are very comfortable with what the governor has done, and we endorse completely and total submission to the list that has read the adoption that we are coming here to do, which is to confirm and affirm those who are going to implement.
Others spoke about infrastructure challenges and commended Governor Tu for his effort so far.
A new state executive committee for our party, and it is our belief and desire that this crop of seasoned party men will serve the party and the people veritably well.
But when you look at the overall interest of the state, we have a leader who is the governor of Cross River State. And we have all agreed collectively that the choice of the state ESCO will be made by the governor, and we're going to have a unanimous vote of acceptance, which is going to bring us focus on leadership, unity and love.
And the role of the APC is so good, so fantastic, that it's bringing unity, it's bringing progress, it's bringing peace to the party.
Cross River is a democratic state. It's an APC state government.
In fact, I can say it's one of the first state in the South-South region that defected from the PDP to APC in the administration of Professor Ben Ayade. And today the Congress is peaceful as I look at the stadium. People are moving happily, expecting the emergence of the new leaders.
I want to thank God Almighty for a seamless exercise of the State Congress today. We've had the phase 1, 2, and today is the third phase. That was to show the unison in the party APC. We already know that the party is the biggest party in West Africa, and there is no stone that is left unturned.
Today marks the beginning of a new era as far as political activity is concerned in Cross River. And we're happy that those elected certainly are men of integrity.
In response, the newly state chairman, Honorable Chris Sonny Etta, alongside other officials, pledged their commitment to strengthening the party and contributing to the growth and development of Cross River State and Nigeria as a whole.
We are going to be fighting and going to be everybody listening here. We have no gun in this fight. We are only your coordinator. We are only those who are going to foster the ideals of the party. So please, whenever you have a problem, let me repeat that. Please come to us. We will be willing and ready to listen.
The event witnessed the moving and adoption of motions swearing in of elected officials, amongst others. For CRBC News Panorama, I am Blessing Bassi reporting.
The Disinflation and Growth Acceleration Strategy, DGAS, was launched by the federal government to do one thing: ease the hardship every Nigerian faces daily. Built on promises of economic stability, job creation, and the path to $1 trillion GDP by 2030, it was meant to be a turnaround for the country. It has now been 6 months since the strategy was unveiled, and the question on the lips of many is simple: is the relief actually being felt in Nigerian homes, or is it just numbers on papers? Prince Chijoke tells us more. The report.
6 months ago, the federal government launched the Disinflation and Growth Acceleration Strategy with a clear mission to ease the hardship Nigerians face every day, built on promises of economic stability, job creation, and a path to $1 trillion GDP by 2030. It was meant to be the turnaround the country desperately needed. But 6 months later, with prices still biting and families struggling to get by, many are wondering if that hope was misplaced. Some citizens say the economy is finally showing signs of life. They say goods are becoming more affordable than they were a few months ago, prices being slashed down slowly, not as dramatically as many hoped for, but enough to show that the government is delivering on its promises.
My own opinion, I think the economy of Nigeria is good because, as we can see, there was a time that people were crying, people were suffering because of the economic, like something like rice, buying food stuff like that. It was very difficult. But right now, things is improving. The bag of rice has come down, although it's not as we suppose, but at least people are feeling fine in terms of food. We have food.
In my own view, I think the economy is improving. Because few months ago, here in Calabar, the commonest commodity being gari, and then the food commodities being gari, rice, beans, the prices were very, very high. But right now, things the economy is not only based, it's not only assessed based on the price of things. It's also assessed based on availability of money. Apart from the food stuff, other things, other commodities, the price of each other as well. Although not to the expectation of the majority of Nigerians.
Others strongly disagree. For them, to talk about economic recovery means nothing when millions are still struggling to get by. Hardship, they argue, remains a daily reality, and the government's much publicized strategy has not touched their life in any meaningful way.
I think, from my own experience, though, what I feel about this whole strategy or whatever they call it is just a flout. I really don't know about
any other individual how they feel. But to me, I think it's just an highlight that they're actually bringing in to get the masses actually convinced or confused about the situation throughout the country now. Because it's really terrible. The masses are actually going through hell, and they're coming out to bring up stories that they have strategies and plans and all that to make the nation or the country better, but it's actually terrible.
Because of the way, the condition of the country, the way where we see how things is going in this country is not well. So those are the most important things that I've seen that the country is not.
It's in between. In between is not getting better, and it looks like it's getting worse by the day. Why I say so is to some it's good, to some other masses it's not.
These ones acknowledge the government's efforts and believe in the foundation for growth. They suggest the government should strengthen regulatory bodies to monitor prices and crack down on corruption. Without these measures, they warn, the progress made so far may not last.
We should develop our. We had a refinery. We should develop it. We should put things in place so that it can work. So that there will not be any small time they say fuel price has rise. And Nigeria need to have something like price control in food items.
To me, I think first of all, issue of corruption, they have to do away with it. Do away with corruption. To me, I think, and I feel the government know what to do, but they just do not want to.
They should do something well so that everybody will be happy. That is what I should tell the federal government to do. We have a good work, we have a good water and other things.
This fund boil down to the middlemen, what I call the middlemen. If you have been hearing about the news, you hear government coming up with one policy trying to alleviate poverty and all that. But it's always the middle people. Because the governor will not lay his seat and start going around to the sharing money and go around to implement the policies. It is people who have been appointed to implement these policies, and we have them. We have councillors. Okay, like what Tinubu have just said, the revenue of state government have increased. I think either by twice of what they were, or even more than twice of what they were receiving before. That of the local government have increased. So I think these people are the ones that are in position to actually eliminate poverty and improve the life in the country. But these middle people are the ones actually rubbishing the government. So to me, I feel the government is doing well. They are actually doing well. But we Nigerians are naturally corrupt. If you are appointed to probably run a policy, implement a policy, the thing that will always be in the mind of an average Nigerian is like, this is my child.
6 months after the strategy was launched, slow and steady relief can be felt across the nation. But for many, hardship has not loosened its grip. If regulatory bodies are not put in place to check prices and curb corruption, the promise of the Disinflation and Growth Acceleration Strategy may remain only a promise. For CRBC News Panorama, Praise Chijoke reporting.
Residents are expressing growing frustration following a sudden return to unstable power supply after enjoying weeks of relatively steady electricity. The unexpected disruption has affected homes, businesses, and small-scale enterprises that had begun adjusting their daily operations around the improved power situation. Many say the inconsistency is not only disrupting productivity, but also raising concerns about the reliability of electricity distribution in the area. If you want to pay it, tells us more, the reports.
Residents of Calabar Metropolis are raising concerns over the unstable power supply in several parts of the city after weeks of relatively stable electricity. The sudden return of irregular power supply has left households and business owners worried as the development continues to disrupt daily activities and economic productivity across the metropolis. Speaking to some respondents, they complained about the irregular power supply, stating it has affected their daily lives and work. Some explained that the inconsistent electricity supply has made it difficult to carry out routine household tasks and operate businesses that depend on power, while others noted that they are now forced to rely on generators, which has increased the cost of running their businesses.
So concerning power supply in Calabar, it's really bad. I mean, for the past in March, right? March, February. For the past 5 months, I've not had that campaign. Well, mine is peculiar because our street transformer got bad. But I mean, apart from that, even before the transformer got bad, we've been having serious light issues. I work online, I have a company I run. My team members are across Nigeria, so you know, it's been hard. After I had to even come down to the state library, people's institutions to get access to light and internet. So it's been affecting my working, right, as a blues worker. So yeah, it's been. I really hope that the government comes about it because it's becoming something else. It's like it's not becoming enough. Like we're not going to sleep like that. There's no lights. We don't expect that anymore. So
I am tired of Nigeria, number one, because I don't understand why they are no longer giving us light. And next year's election, Tinubu said if he doesn't give us light, that we should not vote him in next year. We don't have light. In the night, somebody cannot sleep. If you're sweating like a Christmas goat in your own house, you not go feed it. You not go feed it. Think well for this. It's not nice now.
Presently now, the light is nothing to write home about. It is very, very poor. The worst of it, you see the light, they just rise to your hope. Yeah, and NEPA before you apply. That's end the story. But before months end, they will come round for disconnection, which is very, very wrong. How I wish there can be other company maybe to compete with them. This is what happened between when I cast back my mind when we were having only MTN. MTN were doing anyhow, but after Glo came, other network came, they sit up. So I think maybe if other companies will come in, there should be a competition. I think maybe this light is going to stable. It's very, very annoying. You subscribe now. Subscribe maybe you are DSTV, you don't even enjoy it before you know it has expired. No light, no nothing. How will you be happy to go and subscribe the next month? It's very, very wrong. Why they do something about this thing?
Others urge the government and relevant authorities to take proactive measures to ensure that the issue does not persist, stressing the need for a more stable and reliable power supply.
I think what should be done is the government collaborating with the power holding company each time this lapses comes up to really know what is the problem, so that whatever it is, they can also help to push them to tackle it on time, and then so that everywhere can be lighted up and light.
Everybody's complaining here and there. Like exactly my place at 4 Mile, we are suffering very well. There's no light. So we pray the government should help us and bring light to our means.
While the issue of unstable power supply remains a major concern for residents, many hope that the relevant authorities will take swift action to address the situation and restore steady electricity supply to the metropolis. For CRBC News Panorama, Efewan Ekpe-Ita reporting.
The governor of Cross River State, Senator Basidirutu, has approved new measures aimed at easing the burden of commercial transport operators and improving transparency in the state transport system. The decision follows concerns raised by drivers and residents in Calabar Metropolis over transport ticket fines and enforcement practices. The governor announced a reduction in daily ticket fees for commercial buses and tricycles, a 50% cut in traffic-related fines, and a new guidelines to ensure proper conduct by enforcement officers. Efewan Ekpe-Ita has details. The report.
Concerns had recently been raised by commercial bus and tricycle operators across the Calabar Metropolis over transport ticket charges, fines, and the activities of some traffic enforcement officers on major roads within the city. Many drivers complained that the enforcement of these regulations often placed heavy financial pressure on them and sometimes created tension between transport operators and officials. Following these complaints, the Cross River State government reviewed the existing transport ticketing and enforcement system. The review led to adjustments in the cost of daily tickets for commercial buses and tricycles, as well as a reduction in traffic-related fines in a bid to ease the burden on transport operators and promote fairness within the system. The new measures also introduced clearer operational guidelines for agencies responsible for transport regulation and traffic management. Enforcement officers are now expected to operate strictly in proper uniforms and carry verifiable identification to ensure accountability and professionalism in their duties. Reacting to the development, some commercial drivers described the decision by the state government as a welcome relief. According to them, public transporters often face several challenges with traffic enforcement and ticket officers who sometimes carry out their duties inappropriately.
What we heard from the governor, they have reduced the price of the tickets, so they are now selling the ticket 500 naira. problem there is that they have shut down the night drive.
The night ticket, people are still complaining about the night drive that it does not favor the Kekinape driver. We think that the 500 naira ticket that they are selling is supposed to cover the night, the night drive. So that's what we are just looking after. That the governor can do something about that.
All thanks to His Excellency, he has done so much by reducing the price of our tickets down to 500 naira. But what I can add to it is that I'm begging him to consider us as KK drivers. At least he should let us drive till 8 o'clock. Let the 500 naira ticket should cover us till 8 o'clock.
The ticket which was 800 now 500 naira. And all these tax forces everywhere, you cannot stop and carry, you cannot, everywhere is no parking in Calabar, but now everything is normal. So we thank God for our government. We appreciate him.
Residents appreciated Basi Edototu for taking steps to address the concerns of drivers and ensuring fairness in the transport sector.
I want to say about that development is nice because the way the enforcement agency goes around harassing the drivers was very bad. It wasn't good. It was as if they are on top while the drivers are below. They don't have anybody to speak for them. So the development of our sweet prince, the governor of Cross River State, I like it so much.
If you look at the important, or let's say the relevance, you could see with me that the cost of transportation will reduce, and people will now travel without fear or intimidation, such as maybe the traffic regulators will stop them by the way and their journey will be slow. Yeah, things like that will not happen. And I think when it comes to the prices now, yeah, people will now, like the drivers now, will be able to maybe consider people.
I think it's a very development. If the government will have such implementation for the drivers to
In an interview with News Panorama crew, a traffic operating supervisor, Mr. Efang Abasi, said commercial drivers had earlier protested to demand their rights, which the government has now addressed. He noted that the Traffic Management and Regulatory Agency has resumed its core duties and will continue to operate strictly in line with established guidelines and principles. He, however, advised drivers not to take advantage of the government's leniency, but to comply fully with traffic regulations.
Driver went for a protest last week, for their rights. So our state government give them their rights. The governor of Cross River State said, buy ticket, 500 naira. He now said, if they cut you for offense, it's not 20,000 or 30,000, it's 10,000. So we are doing the right thing now. When we cut you for the offense, don't do any protest, don't do anything, just follow them to the office. It's what we are doing now. But make sure that person has commit before you cut it. And the person don't accept video the place that the person is. So it's what we are doing now. We have good as a human being, not as before. Because now they have gotten their rights. Their rights, is a good thing. But don't feel that you can take the vehicle and go and stop in the center of the road. When a law enforcement officer walking in the road and tell you, say, leave that place. We say, governor say we should carry passengers any place. They cannot walk like that. Then another thing, put your seatbelts. Seatbelts is for your safety. Don't carry overloading. Overloading causes serious accident. Put your seatbelt so that if something happens, the seatbelt can keep you down. Have returned back, to sanitize the road. And not as before. This one is Nambra. You don't mix with other people. So when we tell you advice, you say leave that place. You don't leave it. It's a that we are going to tell you.
With the new development, commercial drivers in Calabar Metropolis are expected to enjoy reduced financial pressure while enforcement agencies carry out their duties professionally and transparently. Authorities say the measures will promote a fairer, more orderly transport system that benefits both operators and the general public. For CRBC News Panorama, Efewan Ekpe-Ita reporting.
That is all we have on our lineup this week. We hope to be back same time next week. Do keep a date with us. I am Josephine Efanga. For updates and engagement, follow us on our official social media handles: Facebook at CRBC X, formerly Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at CRBC Online, YouTube at CRBC New Media, WhatsApp on 090-377-87474. We look forward to connecting with you.